Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Got myself Oxshire on the show as the one and only GB and my mate, the Speedo King, the one and only Jaffa. How we doing, gentlemen?
I'm diving about here, Ox.
Diving about like Callum McGregor, Jaffa, I hear. Good to hear he's on the night, boys. I've missed the show and glad to be back on the night.
Good, mate. How are you, Jaffa?
Hi, Ox. Great, pal. Great. Thanks for having me on again. Looking forward to another great show on Rangers Radio.
Not at all, mate. I've had to my counsellor told me to delete all the photographs of the Seville trip so I can try and erase it from my memory, mate. Just to let you know.
Last salmon, mate. Last salmon.
I've not been right since, mate.
I could see why that would scare you.
It was some trip. Right, okay. How are you, GB?
Very well, Ox. Refreshed from a wee trip away at the weekend there, and like I says, the international break has not been quiet, Ox. There's been plenty of interviews flying about, that's for sure.
No, there's been a lot. All right, I'll go to my business correspondent, GB. Me and you being highly skilled engineers, we will lead us to the business correspondent, the only guy who can write in Rangers Radio. Jaffa?
How you doing, mate? I don't know about that. I'm not taking that build up. It's been a lot going on, Knox. Obviously, another pile of interviews yesterday from James Bisgrove chatting to Heart and Hand last night. As I say, good to have them on, Ox, but I think we're getting into the areas of some things that, talking about the website, it's good to hear that they're going to update it. It's going to happen next year. The website does, the ordering tickets is a chore. I can't imagine for MD it's no tech savvy, especially for elderly people or younger people. The website's atrocious in that respect. So hearing that that's going to get updated is good. And I'm trying to, think of other things that he was discussing, certain issues happening with, my Gers and so forth. But hearing that we're up to 51,000 and my Gers members it's great in one respect, but I'm not sure where that's all going to go with that conversation.
It depends what your rationale is. If we accept, and I'll take this to GB as well, if we accept that, say, 30,000 people are in my Gers because they want to put their money into the club, but they also want to be involved in the tickets for games. Yeah, I'm totally guessing with the numbers, Jaffa. I'm totally guessing. I'm just pulling that out of the sky. Yeah, there's an issue with tickets because obviously demand outstrips supply by a distance, doesn't it? I lost you, Jaffa.
No, still here, Ox. Absolutely.
I thought I was blown you already.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So there's an issue, isn't there? There's an issue with, if we take my Gers as a loyalty scheme for customers, it's a fantastic idea. GB, would you agree with that?
100%.
Let's just put money into the club, yeah?
Yeah, Ox. I mean, for years, Ox, even as I was a young boy, I was always eager to find a way to try and put money into Rangers. I didn't have a lot of money to go and buy season tickets and probably 2 or 3 tilts every year, but it would have been good to have an avenue just to maybe make sure my money was going to the club to help it in some sort of way. And I think this has been a great idea because somebody can subscribe to Rangers TV for a £5, or they can pick up a My Gers membership for their kid, and it's not going to cost them the arse, mate, and it's still money going into the club.
They're still part of the club. I get it. So I mean, other people might have another idea, but a membership scheme, you can dress it up any way you want. It's a club card, it's a loyalty card, it's a way of putting money into the club. There's a lot of positives. Then you get to the big problem, Jaffa. Tickets. How do you solve that riddle, mate?
I honestly, Ox, I don't think you can, and I genuinely believe the way it's been currently done, I think it's as fair as it's going to get, because there's a lot of people spend a lot of money, and we've got a couple of the guys on here in particular on Rangers Radio Southside and Big Stevie who go literally to home and away. I can't do that, Ox. I don't have the time in my life to do that with a family and so forth, and I think a lot of us are like that. But there are loads of guys who want to, and I think they should get first dibs on the tickets. And I think that's as fair as it's going to be.
How do you do that when there's 3,000 tickets and there's 20,000 wanting them, mate?
It's impossible, Ox. I mean, it's just impossible unless they do it on a rotation basis. But I don't even think that can work. To be honest with you, and as I say, I think the fairest way is probably as close to where they are at this current period. I don't see it being any fairer than what they're currently doing. And I know it's disappointing for a lot of people, but and I'm one of them. I mean, I heard David Edgar even saying that last night. He's not had one single away ticket this season, but that's because he can't travel to every game.
Aye. So it's a riddle that it's hard to solve, and I don't know. I've not got the answers. Usually I can come up with something, GB, but I just can't see how you solve this riddle. I've got sympathy for everybody. I've got sympathy for somebody who's maybe 18 years of age and starting to go to the games and maybe hasn't got a history because he's just starting to spread his wings. He's got to go to his first game and start somewhere. But I've also got sympathy for Southside guys that are well into their retirement and went for years, you know. He's going to kill me when he hears that.
Yeah, we're on the phone now.
You get my point. The boys that have went for years, I've got sympathy for them, and I really don't know how you solve it, mate. You know?
Either way you try and do it, Ox, you end up trying to do it in a tiered system. So you go like that, right? Well, this guy's bought so many tickets, or he's bought so many tickets here so many years, so he goes into this kind of bracket, but then you start going down the route of making it elitism, and it's a right brain buster. I mean, to try and figure this out. The only way I think it is fair, that the way my jersey is set up now, is that once somebody, I think, gets an away ticket for talking sakes, or I don't know, a cup final ticket or something like that, they should be taken out the equation, and then it should be like on and on and on kind of thing, like, so that one person can't have like 5 tickets just because of a draw. And like David Edgar, he's not had one. I don't think that's fair. I think he's not
alone. Right, here's how I see it, Jaffa. Here's how I would do it. And people might have a different point of view. And I'm trying to be as fair and rational. I think you have to give the majority of people to your most loyal customers, and that's the guys in gold. Yeah, whether they've been to the most games or no is up for debate, but they're your most loyal customers, so they've accrued their points through going to games and purchasing tickets and their purchasing history, etc. So you give them, and you have a subsection where you categorise the games into maybe A, B and C, like they do a lot in England. And for us there would only be one A game, yeah, for our tickets. And then you would have maybe 3 B games sitting under that, if I'm being fair. If you look at the league this now, would that be fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibs.
Yes, that would be my... And then, could you put the rest of them as C? Would that also then be fair, the rest of the teams? Or maybe would you have a C and a D when you split up with your allocation certain amounts, where you get more tickets for St Johnstone and Livingston compared to what Kilmarnock and Motherwell are trying to give, which is ludicrous, but don't get started on that, Jaffa. What would you do there? Would you have 4 categories or 3, mate?
No, I would have 3 categories. All
right, so we go with you. Is that because you struggle after ABC?
Pretty much, I'm struggling with them.
Okay, all right. I understand. I blame the schools. Right, so you've got ABC, so are we agreeing one game in A?
Yes.
3 in B?
3 in B, and the rest in C.
and then 8 and C, yeah?
Yep.
And then you run your rota on that, what GB said. The first 200 that get tickets for the majority are 400 that get the tickets for the A match the first time round. They don't get it the second time round. Yeah, I know it's not perfect, and I know it'll not suit everybody, but
it's moderately more fair though, Ox. That more people are getting to, as you say, you've got the younger guys.
You've got to look after your new customers as well. Yeah, but we're all Wayne's ones. I mean, I'm a lot closer to the 18-year-old than used to, but so I appreciate it. Admit me.
I bet you do. I think Ox as well. What you could probably do in like your A category, you could chuck in your kind of your premium games. So like say, cup finals, semi-finals, and stuff like that. And then again, you're getting a bigger turnover, and then
they'll have to go for the people that signed up for everything. GB.
I know.
People have to take them. The people that are willing to pay for every ticket have to be rewarded.
Aye.
They're taking every hit. They're taking every hit, buying every purchase, buying every game. Yeah. So if they were to get thrown every ticket that comes away, they're taking it every away ticket. They're taking it every cup final ticket. They're taking it Queen of the South away on a Wednesday night. They're taking it Jaffa.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know. So you have to reward them in some respects, and as long as they're in the right category and they're season ticket holders, I think it's only right that the semi-finals and cup finals there, because they're willing to take that financial hit. But as far as away games are concerned, I can see benefits in having the categories like they do in England. It's not a new idea; it's an English idea, if you like. And for us, we've only got one A game, and I'm trying to be as fair as I can. Vast majority of tickets should go to gold, some should have to go to silver, and some will have to go to bronze to new customers. And I'm not saying that hundreds have to go there, but you have to reward and get new customers, constantly.
Yep.
New supporters, young supporters, kids, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. I think that's a fair shout, Ox. I think there's definitely mileage in that. I mean, if James Bisgrove, I dare say, will be listening, he should probably get that down on a bit of paper. And possibly, because the way the tickets are currently going, I think that's why they're getting so much disruption from fans, because it appears that there is a voice to be said that the same tickets are going to the same category all the time, and I don't think
they will. The majority should go to them, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand the rationale behind that, but. And obviously when you go to a lot of away games, it's all the same guys you see a majority of the time, because they're the guys that are always scrapping about getting tickets and helping each other. Maybe on the category, maybe if you had a D Jaffa, you could fit the European ties in there at certain levels as well. That's
possibly.
Up for debate. That's up for debate, yeah.
Yep.
Because people have had a heavy hit, whether we like it or not, especially in this climate, GB, they've hit their season tickets, then they've took another, if you've got your seat £600, then you're getting a couple £100 for the Champions League games, and then you maybe paid another £100 for all the games at Ibrox and the qualifiers, plus maybe the friendlies before that. And the season's hardly started.
Yeah.
Aye, and you've got your cups, your Scottish Cups and League Cup and all that as well, and amongst all that, Ox, and your taps, buying Rangers taps, subscribing to Rangers TV, My Gear's membership as well. It's still not a cheap thing. It all adds up. It's
only
£1 a week, roughly. My Gear's for most of the adults, which in this day and age isn't a lot of money. But if you put it in Tapio or other stuff, it becomes your commitment to the club is big financially, Jaffa.
Ox. I think our fans have went to the well against them, especially in the last couple of years with the runs in Europe that we've had. The amount of fans that we've taken, all over Europe, and last year in particular. And as you say, the Champions League this year. Most season ticket holders are they're not getting much change out of £1,000 so far. And that's a phenomenal amount of money for a lot of families, any family nowadays. On top of the other things that are going on in the world, with energy crisis and all the rest of it. So no, I think the club should definitely be vigilant, and it's good that they are talking about stuff like that. But I think they should take into consideration, the amount of money that the fans are putting into the club. Definitely.
Aye. Yes, mate.
I think inevitably it's going to come down to personal choice in your own circumstances as well. I mean, the club are obviously going to try and do as much as they can, but I mean, for myself, if I was looking at the situation for me, I would be like, right, I'm going to subscribe to my jersey solely, no looking for tickets, but solely getting the wee added benefits, say, for talk's sake, my wee boy or my wee lassie getting a membership so they can go to an open day and watch Rangers train, or they can go to the ladies' game and watch them for free and stuff like that. I would see the kind of look at the benefits of what I can afford, if you mean, and that's what you can.
I don't think you've been fair there, Gary. You can get more because you can always sell a kidney, mate.
Aye, of course, aye. and you can always give a pint of blood and all that. But no, it's. I think, like I says, it's got to come down to individual, and as much as we don't want it being an elitism thing, it is only fair that if you're spending your hard-earned cash and that's what you're solely focused on, then inevitably you should be rewarded for it. And like I says, if it was myself, I was like, I can't afford to go to all the games, then I would just look at the membership as a way to get some enjoyment. Aye, that's it.
Aye, I get it. Aye. Listen, I would never judge anybody for their financial situation, Chaffer. People, who are we to tell people how they can spend their money? We don't know their circumstances yet.
Yep, no, 100%, Ox. As Gary said, I mean, it is definitely down to our personal circumstances. And that the club should always, the club, especially our club, we should cater for everybody. I mean, it has to have a place in different pricing structures for both the young and people in the retirement and the whole spectrum in between. So, and the club should definitely be vigilant about stuff like that. And I think up until now they have been. But they should definitely don't miss that, Ox, at any point.
Aye, and if we want to grow the support, we talked about last night about the capacity at the stadium. Billy raised the point, and he wants a 70,000 stadium. I'd love that, but you have to grow the support who go to the games. Then, yeah, and that's difficult. It's all right saying why we 70,000 stadium and we can sell it out European games and we play them, but we want it filled every week. Yeah.
Yep. No, definitely. And there's a way to do that. Then there's a way to get the younger supporter involved. And I'm sure if that ever happened, I'm not sure I ever see that happening in the early sort of future, Ox. That's maybe a longer term, but the way the stadium's structured and stuff like that. But certainly I know they're exploring that, and I know we've touched on it in the show in the last few months. I think they definitely are exploring avenues about different ways that they could possibly add small percentages on, but that's all got to be weighed up against cost and engineering and all the rest of it. So it'd be good to hear what the report on that is, and that might even come out in the AGM that's up and coming shortly.
I think you need a plan of maybe a couple of generations. You might have to rebuild and maybe start again and do what's right at the time, but that's for the future. But aye, it's worth a debate and see what it takes. It's all right. I don't know how we get onto that and we just stumbled through it. Yeah, but we'll open these phone lines and see if people get any thoughts. And I want to talk about the football as well. We use two chaps if that's all right with you, yeah?
Absolutely.
So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, I don't know how to take this, and I hope I'm not reading the text wrong, but my big our Northwest correspondent, he's got an issue with my jersey because he's always looking for two seats, and I don't know if the two seats are for one for him or one for the boy, or the two seats are for him. I've read the text wrong, or as Elise wrote it.
Probably to get a nice comfy seat for two seats.
But aye. It's difficult. It's difficult when you don't get enough tickets. Then you get big games where everybody who's went to watch the team for years is in trying to get to Anfield. It's difficult. I don't know how you do it, mate. And also live in the real world. Sponsorship and people who put in big money are going to get rewarded at some point, Jaffer. And unfortunately for us normal supporters, that'll be with the odd few tickets extra. That's what happens in the real world.
Yeah, Ox. I mean, I know this is it's a hot debate and topic now with the Liverpool game up and coming in next week. You know, and I know that the sponsors have got to be looked after. They just have to, as you say. These guys are putting in, you know, these companies are putting in millions of pounds into it, and they're the big glamour games they want to wine and dine their customers at. So it's always a tricky debate, and I don't think you're ever going to please everybody. But I think you know, it'll be good to see a healthy Rangers support down there next week, and I'm sure there will be.
Well, I think there'll be a lot of bears down there as well who aren't at the game as well. You know, a lot of people going making trips there. All right, what I want to talk about you two, right? We've got a stage now, and I think we've agreed, GB. I think everybody's the general consensus opinion that we haven't played well this season. Would that be fair?
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Especially this first block of games, Ox. It's been a bit of a letdown, if I'm honest, Ox. I was expecting us to come out all guns blazing this season, especially after the back of the European run and stuff like that we had, and I thought they would give Gio. I mean, he did have a good bit of time to work with the players in the close season there. So it's been a bit an eye opener, Ox, for me.
Oh, you've got a lot of years to catch up, mate. You've got a lot of years to catch up till you realise this is a roller coaster. Jaffer, I think there's a hangover that's caused some of this as well, and obviously two big players left us. Maybe bigger characters than we realised. Maybe bigger cogs in the dressing room if known the park, even though Bassey just exploded on us. But look, there's a lot of positives for the start. We made the Champions League. For the finances, we go to the club in that arena again. We're only 2 points behind, and if we win on Saturday, we go top of the league, which is mental when we're trying to say we're never had a good start.
When you say it like that, Ox, I mean, it kind of makes the argument. It doesn't make the argument stand up with any credibility that we've not had a good start, but we've not had a good start because we've had a couple of doings in there.
I come in with a rider to you there, Jaffa, and I say we've been awful apart from a couple of games, maybe the two PSV games, and that's about it, really.
The second game against Union, Ibrox, the home tie at 3-0. Yeah, and that has really been about it, Ox. I mean, the first game of the season against Livingston, we go 1-0 down, and we come back, we win 2-1, but it certainly wasn't a flamboyant performance. We got over the line, and there's been a lot of just getting over the line performances, in particular in the league. But it hasn't been a great start, and we've just got to. I mean, I know we all do as fans anyway. Get behind the team and stand behind the team and hope that it gets better, because there's not much else really at this moment in time that we can do. We can't go out and sign any more players. I seen Roof today was making noises. He's back in the dressing room. So is he available for selection? You know, I hope he is, because that's another bonus, and it's another player with decent credibility in the team. He can score goals, but it hasn't been a great start. There's no other way to say it. It's not been. With some awful performances, in particular the doing that they gave us, which I think still rankles with us all. Gio's got to do better. There's no two ways about it.
Here. Right, the challenge I'm putting to you two and the listeners who want to come up, I believe if my arithmetic is correct, we've got 9 games between now and the break for a World Cup, GB.
You are, just double check. Yep, you're right.
Yes. And we're going to make predictions, and you're going to keep a note of them in any covers.
Right. Okay, yeah. No hassles.
and we'll maybe have a mystery prize if anybody gets them all right. We don't want the Southside's not been allowed to take part in this, for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. It wouldn't be fair to kick a man when he was doing, was it? Right, so we'll get 9 games. So we'll start with a game away on Saturday. What you tipping, Jaffa?
Yes.
Come on, Jaffa. I've got my work in the morning.
3-1 Rangers.
Right, you're going for an away win?
An away win. 3-1.
An away win. Yes, I'm going for an away win as well. GB?
Away win as well for me.
Right, okay. This might end up really silly, but we'll see where it takes us. Right, but next game, league game, is home to St Mirren. Obviously, they're potentially one of the greatest teams the world ever seen, for obvious reasons, Jaffa. So, yes. What you going for, GB?
Home win.
Against one of the greatest teams in modern football?
Of course.
All right, okay. I'm also going for a home win, and a comfortable home win. Jaffa?
Comfortable home win for me.
Okay. Well, then away tomorrow. GB.
Oh, Oxman, this depends how we are. I'll go away win. Got to be.
You better you drop for a panel. I'm going for a comfortable away win, Jaffa.
Comfortable away win.
Right, you can see where this is going, can we?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then we're home to... that's the cup. Then we're home to Livingston. Always gives problems. I'll go first. Another comfortable home win. Jaffa?
Bridgeman, 1-0. Home win.
GB?
3-0 home win.
There we go. Then, after we come back from Napoli, we play Aberdeen at home. GB?
Hard fought 1-0 home win.
4-0. Jaffa?
Draw.
Oh! Right, thanks for the call, Jaffa. We'll speak to you soon. Don't be a stranger. Then we're away to St Johnstone. Obviously, you're going for St Johnstone, Jaffa. I'm going for an away win. Jaffa?
Away win. Comfortable.
GB?
Away win, aye.
Okay. We'll get 2 games left. We then have a return fixture against the Jam Tarts at Ibrox. We beat them away. Home win for me. GB?
A draw, Ox.
At Ibrox against Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. Right, okay.
Home win.
Jaffa?
Home win.
Home win. And the last one before the break for the World Cup is away to St Mirren against one of the greatest teams world football's ever seen at one of the fiercest stadiums I've ever played at. What you going for, Jaffa?
Away win. Comfortable.
GB?
Away win.
An away win, not so comfortable, but windy and rainy bit in. Right? So I've got us with 27 points, and you two have got us with 25 points. That's for prediction.
Yep.
Yeah? Right. All right, we're going to get through these again, right? And we want to do the scores quickly, yeah? Just give your scores on the games, right? So start with Hearts on Saturday.
3-1 for me.
3-1. GB?
2-0 Rangers.
I was going to go for that, so I'll stick with 2-0 Rangers. Away to home at St Mirren, I'll go first. 4-0 Rangers. GB?
3-0 Rangers.
Jaffa?
2-0.
Motherwell away. Jaffa?
4-1.
GB? Hurry up.
1-0.
2-0 Rangers. Away home to Livingston. GB?
3-0 Rangers.
Jaffa?
1-0 Rangers.
I'm going for 5-0 Rangers. Aberdeen home, I'll go first. 1-0 Rangers. GB?
2-0 Rangers.
Jaffa?
1 each.
Away to St Johnstone? Jaff?
3-0.
I'm going for 2-0. GB?
2-0 as well, aye.
Home and Hearts? I'll go for 3-1. Jaffa?
3-1.
GB?
2-1.
Away to St Mirren? GB?
2-0.
I was going for that. 3-0 then. Jaffa?
3-0.
Right, there we go. All right, you got a list of them, GB?
I have, and it's just an inquiry with myself. I've went.
You went for wins and you both predicted draws.
Oh, I didn't. I got the Aberdeen one.
You're right. You won each. So my Hearts man, I've put down 2-1 Rangers, so I'll put down 2-2. 2-2.
Oh dear. Right, okay, we'll see where it takes us.
It'll be interesting, Ox. I think there's unfortunately in Rangers now there seems to be that there'll be a draw somewhere in the fixtures.
Well, Jaffa, if I'm right and we take 27 points, because potentially I think our hardest game in that run up is for the next game. Potentially, of course, yeah. Yeah, so you'll be well into the season and you'll have taken our 27 points. Things are moving in the right direction.
Ox, if we take 27 points, I'd be delighted with that. Absolutely delighted if we took 27 points. In fact, I'll go as far to say, see if we take 27 points, we'll be top of the league. And we're on right.
Is there any reason after Saturday we can't win every game, mate? Seriously?
Not if we start. If we start putting performances together. Mm-hmm. If we can get some of these injuries cleared up and we can start seeing a bit of pressure taken off the pool at this moment in time, the pool of players, and we can really start motoring on, I don't think there's nothing to stop them. The players have got it, Ox. We've seen them do it before. They just need to click into gear.
Mm-hmm. If we play what we've played up until now, I would accept it. We're not going to take 27 points, but accept there's going to be improvement, GB.
Oh, Ox. I mean, when you're looking at the fixtures there, you've only got Motherwell away, St Johnstone away, St Mirren away, and obviously Hearts this weekend. So when you are looking in the cold light of day, as long as we're on point, we only really need to deal with the kind of lesser teams away. All our home games are usual must wins, and there's no negotiation on that. It's got to be wins at him. I just hope the game on Saturday will tell us where we're at, I think.
I know, mate. I know. I mean, as I said before, we'll go to Tynecastle on Easter Road and we will draw. You know, I think it's been the problem has been the manner of the performances, Jaffa. Yeah, it's been the manner.
Yeah. We've just not hit the heights, so we've not controlled games for long periods of time. You know, we've been under pressure. And a lot of them, and we've not dominated the ball in the way that we can dominate the ball. Like you alluded to at the start of the show there, the performances against PSV, the home leg against Union, and really other than that, there's not been real standout performances. There's not been enough of them, Ox, and that's where the form comes in. The form's not great. You can't dress it up any other way. The form has been it's been shady, to say the least. You know, we've scratched results. We've got away with stuff. We've drawn at Hibs. We got beat with them at Parkhead. You know, dreadfully get beat with them. Just did they turn up? So they can only go one way. To be honest with you, the performances can only get better.
That's what I'm hoping for, GB.
I would be very surprised, Ox, come Saturday that the team's not had a wee bounce for the international break, especially how it finished. We've come back, finishing up 2 points behind, getting a chance to breathe here these last couple of weeks. I mean, hit the reset button again, regroup, get a wee bit more understanding of how we all play together. The usual, it should predict a kind of a better performance, at least a bounce out of them anyway, a wee bit of confidence that they're still in. There's still a long way to go in this title race.
Well, the league's not started yet. Yeah, you don't win it at this time of the year, but you can certainly make it difficult. You can lose it, Jaffa, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, you can, Ox. Aye. I mean, we're well in it. You know, as GB just said there. I mean, 2 points is nothing. You know, with 8 games gone, but as I said, leagues are no one at this time of the year, Ox. But certainly, putting performances in would be raising the bar. Performances have got to get better. That is, you know, the way we've been playing has just not been great at all. Our form's not been good, but it can only get better.
I agree. That's what's giving me a bit of hope. GB can only get better.
Aye, and I think we have seen moments where the team has played well. You know what I mean? It's no. I mean, the league games probably aside that have been kind of lacklustre, but Europe qualifying for Champions League, etc. Maybe it's been a kind of rabbit in the headlights. All the pressure's been focused on the Champions League for this kind of first section of the season, and now that that's kind of out the road and we're there, and we've had this kind of break. Now that hopefully the focus can turn a wee bit more to the league, and the players can. The players have had a wee bit more time together, and maybe Gio's learned a wee bit of his tactics the first kind of 8 games as well, where he needs to improve on. And Hearts is a perfect game, I think, for them to go out and show that they are ready for the challenge ahead, Ox.
We'll see. We'll see what it takes. It's interesting. Yeah, I think Saturday's a big game because it's when you come back after this break, Jaffa, and then you're looking at it as a springboard. We know we've got a massive game in World Football on Tuesday, but that's, if you like, that's a free hit. Whereas the bread and butter Saturday.
Aye, 100%, Ox. And I agree with you. I mean, the players have had a couple of weeks off. I think most of them have had a short break, so they should be well refreshed. You know, they've been back into training the last 6 or 7 days. Most of our players certainly, anyway, apart from, you know, I know there's a number of the lads still in international duty, but the majority of the pool have been back at Auchenhowie. And the performance in Saturday, or the game in Saturday, it's a massive game, Ox. It is a massive game. And the players have got to be up for that. And as you say, I mean, what better way to give you a mouth-watering tie than playing on Saturday at Tynecastle, then you're down to Liverpool in Tuesday night. You know, that's what dreams are made of. These players have got to understand where they are and get themselves up for it. And I think they will. I really do believe they will.
Right, I'll tell you what we'll do, if it's all right with you two chaps. We'll hear from their captain, James Tavernier. Yeah?
Yep, brilliant.
Perfect.
All right, let's hear from the skipper.
James, the squad is now starting to piece back together after the international break. How beneficial a period has this been for you and the rest of the guys?
Yeah, it's been good. We've had a full week of training, and it's, you know, the lads have obviously been away, and, you know, they're coming back obviously match fit, and we've just been preparing right. We had the good rest. The lads who didn't go away, and, you know, we've been preparing right, getting the tactical side, you know, worked on a lot more because we get more time on the training pitch, and yeah, it's been really good.
It's been a very hectic start to the season, packed with loads of ups and downs. How are you reflecting on it, both in terms of results and performances?
Yeah, obviously the first block of games, you know, we were obviously disappointed with the Hibs game, obviously losing the men and taking the point there, and then obviously the performance at Parkhead. You know, we didn't like that performance at all that we put in, but, you know, we're only 2 points in the league, so, you know, there's a lot of games to play for. It's still early in the season, so yeah, the boys are raring to go to get it kicked off again. And the Champions League, we probably wanted to more out the Ajax game. We probably wanted to implement our style of play, which we didn't do, but I thought we did that against Napoli. But, you know, probably for 60 minutes we played really well, and then you got 10 men, and, you know, it can be a bit of a struggle and conceding 3 penalties, and Griggs has done wonders to to keep 2 out, but that's just football at the end of the day. So we're really relishing the task in hand and the games in hand.
Yeah, has this period maybe given you the chance to reset slightly? Because, as you mentioned, it's been so hectic. You're only, as you say, 2 points behind. It's not where you want to be, but you're not a million miles away either. Yeah,
not far away. It's only 2 points, and we've only played the first block of the season, so there's plenty of games to play. So it's down to us to keep our standards and the levels of consistency going through the games and create a real good momentum leading into the games.
And this period coming up, as you say, I mean, there's some brilliant matches to look forward to, and of course start with Hearts at Tynecastle on Saturday.
Yeah, another good fixture. Nice early kick-off after the break, so really looking forward to going over there, playing against them. The boys are obviously really preparing themselves right, so when we go into that game we'll be fully focused in the job in hand, and we'll be wanting to leave that place with 3 points. I think you seen obviously the last game when the young lads mostly all played the game. It was just a style of play, moving the ball quick and being precise with our passing, and when we do get chances, putting them away. And I thought the lads did really well, and even when we went over there earlier in the season. So I think that's just a case to try and keep their crowd quiet and implement our style of football and create as many chances as possible, but also trying to keep a clean sheet. The fans are really on top of you, so it's a stadium that I like to go to, and it's a nice stadium to go to, especially midday. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Oh, I'm getting information, and the ladies have went one up, but I'm waiting for that to be confirmed. Hopefully it is. And I would make the tie equal in goals, and been under the cosh a bit. Got a goal, I believe. We'll see if that's confirmed. Okay, Tav, I think he's saying a lot of similar stuff to what we've been saying, if that's fair, Jaffa.
Yeah, I think you've been listening to us, to be fair. He's obviously, they're acknowledging the performances have not been great, and the season starts now, and so, as we said, Ox, the performances can only get better, and I sincerely hope the pool's in a better place after this international break than what it has been, injury-wise in particular.
GB?
Ox, it was good to hear him kind of acknowledging bits that we've touched on, especially, like, say, the Champions League, how there's been a big focus on that, and to qualify, and then being in about it that they've not kind of performed the way that they've wanted. They touched on, obviously, the Hibs and Celtic game.
I caught across you quickly. It's still nothing each. Wasn't it a goal? Bad information. Sorry, carry on.
No. So it obviously was touching on the Hibs and the Celtic game. He was disappointed that players got sent off, and then he was disappointed in the performance of the Celtic game. He acknowledged that it wasn't acceptable and stuff like that. So the good thing is they've took learnings away for this period of games, Ox, and he's sounding positive about this weekend. He's glad that it's an early kick-off. It's a place that he sounds like he enjoys going to. Enjoys probably the kind of battle that's going to be put into them in that game. And to be fair, it's a place that Rangers have recently played well at. You know what I mean? So it's good to hear him. It's good to hear that he sounded a wee bit more refreshed, Tav, and I'm just hoping he's not got that kind of wee niggling injury. Hopefully that's helped him get the time needed to reset himself as well.
If my humble opinion, Jaffa, him and John Lundstrom have they been fit for weeks?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, Ox. Certainly, Tav's certainly not been hitting the performances he's been used to. We've been seeing him in the last few years, nowhere near it, and neither's John Lundstrom, I'm afraid. I don't know whether he's been carrying an injury or his fitness levels have just not been up to scratch.
I think it's been to the game at Parkhead when he got that knock, mate. Yeah.
And it's a shame because again that goes back to what I was saying earlier, Ox, about pool being really stretched, because that's what happens when you're, when you've got such heavy injury lists. It's hard to get. You're asking guys to take painkiller injections, and you're really asking them to play when they shouldn't be playing. And that usually leads to more problems. But sometimes you find yourself in these situations, and I think that's what's been going on. And that's hence the reason why we've been getting these really bad performances that we've been seeing for the team, just unrecognisable for the Rangers that we know, especially at their place.
GB?
Aye, the both of them, Ox. Marcel Lundstrom, like you touched on there, as soon as that Celtic game, as soon as I seen him take the tablets after that knock he took, he seen the game out. He was jogging more than kind of more his enforcer side of things. And then as the games have went on after that, it's just not comfortable for some reason. Again, the team's probably not helped him with that, because the team's not comfortable. It's been a bit disjointed and stuff like that. But again, hopefully this wee breaks came at the right time, just to clear up these wee niggling injuries, Ox, because I certainly think, see, when all these players are fully fit, fully firing, I think the Hearts game's a brilliant game for them to go into. It's a physical game. It's got to be quite an open game, because Hearts do like to play as well. So it's got to be a good confidence booster, and I really do hope they go out and the win's the most important thing, but a wee performance would be great just for the confidence of the team.
I just think it's one of the games you just want the 3 points, Jaffa. But I get GB's point, but want to see some bullet shoots of improvement, yeah?
Aye, absolutely. No, getting the 3 points is the priority, Ox. And and however you do that is, is sometimes if it's a 1-0 at the end of the 90 minutes, I'll take it. I'm quite happy to take the 1-0, but I'd like to see a performance. And I agree, it'll be an open game. They'll be playing to win the game themselves. They're sitting quite high up the table. They've been decent, to be fair, Hearts at the start of the season. But we're a different team that they've been for the rest of the teams that they've been facing throughout the league. So I can't see anything other than a better Rangers performance. And we always say on here, if Rangers play to their potential, even 7 and 8 out of 10s for some of the players that have been under par.
Hello.
I can't see nothing else but a victory for us, Ox.
All right, we've been joined by Billy. Evening, Billy.
Aye, how you doing? Long time no speak.
Aye, mate, aye. How you doing?
I'm fine. Aye. Just a couple of points.
When you go?
I listened to Tav.
Mm-hmm.
That fella I would never have out the team, honestly. I think he's gave his all. And I know he's had his critics and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But the guy, he's proved it in the past. The other thing is, let's say, Kent. I would take Kent in the team as well. And I'd take Jack. But there's only 3 or 4 players, like say, in the midfield that need to actually start playing together and looking for the ball instead of looking at each other. And it's just came. Every team has their downs. Feel like, say, the past couple of years, the way that we have played and reaching the Europa League final and whatnot, we've had our down this year, but every team will get that. It swings and roundabouts. What do you think, panel?
Good question, mate. James Tavernier. Aye, his stats are frightening. He's frightening. His stats are frightening. This season, if I'm being honest, he's been very average. But if he's no fit, that's a reason for it. Jaffa?
Yeah, Billy. I mean, on his normal sort of level of performances, I wouldn't have James Tavernier at the team either. I think he's a great player. The one difference I have noticed this year is he's certainly not been getting as high up the park. I don't know if that's a tactical move or whether he's been getting instructed to do that, or as we've just said there, Billy, I don't know if the guy's just generally not he's not fit. He's not 100% fit, and he's been asked to play. And being the captain, he's probably one of the guys within the group that even 50%, he's probably still happy to put his hand up and say, "Aye, right, okay, I'll go out and play." he's not as effective when he's not got those fitness levels. And you're right, your second point there. Every team throughout a league campaign hits form and dips form, and different things happen. It just so happens a lot of your injuries seem to have cropped up at the start of the season, and I think that's what frustrates a lot of the fans, because the season's not even got off the ground yet, and we've got guys like Roof, away out the training ground and away. He's now had what does that constitute? About 10, 12 weeks on the sidelines. We've not even seen him at the start of the season, and some of the new signings. And I myself, I'm quite frustrated with that. But there isn't a lot you can do about it. There's no point moaning about it. You can't change it. If they're no fit, they're no fit. But it's certainly, you're right. Every team has it throughout the season. It's an absolute fact. You'll not go through a league campaign with the 25 players in your pool being fit every week. That just doesn't happen.
Yep, I totally agree with you there. And the fact is, you support one team, you support Rangers. It's in your blood. There is no point in, when we go through the bad spells, lambasting players, because that doesn't go good on the player. You've got to stick through thick and thin. And it will happen with everyone. It will happen with every team. It doesn't matter, as you say, where you are, what league you're in. You could be Barcelona. It happened to them. So it can only get better. They've got to get their fingers out, as they say, the proverbial, and hopefully that's when they start playing. And who knows, all the best to Rangers.
GB, Tav, his stats are frightening, but that means nothing for next week. His numbers are superb. His performances in the space of time, the goals he scored for right back, the goals he's been involved with the right back. He's value for money for the signing he's been, but that doesn't mean you're due a strip every week, mate. You've got to earn it.
Oh, yep. 100%, Oxen. When the time comes, we'll look back and we'll see Tav as a fantastic servant, but it's the here and now. The here and now, we're challenging. We're challenging for 2 cups. We're in the Champions League, and we've got a very important league game coming up this Saturday. So we do need our players right on form. As Billy touched on, the swings and roundabouts. Hopefully we've had the kind of swings and roundabouts, Billy, for the first half, the first section of games. And like I says, it's gave Tav this kind of time, the couple of weeks to refocus himself. Maybe look at his game where he's no quite firing. But again, once that captain's on, one thing about Tav, and I've noticed when we have been scoring the goals right enough, he's been the first one roaring at the fans and stuff like that with passion, showing that he's been pleased with the victory, if you know what I mean. So like I said, we just need them now back to full fitness and doing what he's doing best. And I hope he's no, like Jaffa's touched on, I hope he's no getting till this season to sit back more, because Tav's fantastic. As much as we moan maybe sometimes about the back of the defence, see when he's gone forward and he finds the passes. That goal way he set up for Cholak was just outstanding, and that's what we want for Tav. We want that kind of assists back up where he. And the thing is, Tav loves scoring and assisting. He loves that in his game and all. So he'll be craving it. He'll be craving it for this weekend.
I certainly hope so. I like to see Kent getting on his game. A bit more for Ryan Jack, if possible. And I think we'll get it sorted. We will get it sorted. The past few weeks, I thought to myself, well, like say Gio, see this side and back passing. I said that a while ago because Dutch player, okay, he was a great player for Rangers and whatnot, but I said that when he came in, that he maybe tried to play this kind of Dutch style of football, but that will not happen in Scotland, But I think it's only a blip. We'll get ourselves here. We will. I've every faith in my team. Got to have.
Like Ryan Jack, I think he's another one, Jaffa. It's he's just not been fit. Yeah.
It galls my skin to say it, but I saw the highlights of last night's game, and That's probably the fittest I've seen Ryan Jack. Sadly, he wasn't in our jersey. He was in Scotland jersey. And again, I agree with you, Ox. I don't think he's been fit. I don't know if he's carrying an injury or what. But last night it was the best I've actually saw him. He controlled a lot of that midfield, like Ryan Jack of old. So hopefully that's puts him in contention for a place in the team on Saturday. Because I think Ryan Jack is a great addition to any pool of players.
Yeah. Actually, when I watched the game last night and I seen that Ryan Jack was in the squad, my first thought was, oh geez, that's what I'm going to do it for a month, for Rangers. Because
he's took a big gamble with his career, playing for his country. I mean, it's maybe affected him at some time. His choice. But it could work this time for us, Billy, if he gets a bit of
hopefully
for that game last night.
No hope so, lads. We'll get us there. We'll sort that out.
Your other point about Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent's turned into an enigma, Jaffa, in GB.
Oh, he's frustrating me. Because I mean, I've been on here a number of shows recently. I just to put it on the record, I love Ryan Kent. I think he's a phenomenal footballer. Again, I'm going to defend Ryan Kent. I think it's the way he's been. I think it's the instructions he's getting out for the side of it before he goes on, because he's just. I mean that free roll where he used to come inside. He doesn't come inside hardly. He doesn't move out of that left-hand position, which I think's making him predictable and easy to defend against. And I don't think that's Ryan Kent's game. What I will say, Ryan Kent has never let us down. See, for effort and getting back and chasing ball down and the press and everything else, Ryan Kent's commitment to our team is not in question. I'm not questioning that at all. I'm just questioning his end product, goals. Ryan Kent used to have goals in his game. That isn't there just now.
He's not even making goals, Jaffa.
He's not even making them, Ox. No, he's not. I'm putting that onto him. I'm putting that onto Gio and his team. I'm afraid that's my take on it.
Okay. All right, mate. All right. Okay. Well, Jaffa's getting angry at GB. Oh, go on.
No, Ox, he's kind of in a big camp of that. Like, it's going to be the way up. Either Gio causing Ryan Kent to play that way, or is it Ryan Kent that's just not enjoying his football? Now, for me, it's certainly a bit of both. Like, I don't like the way Gio is making Ryan Kent predictable. But what I will say is, when Tom Lawrence was in the team, especially against PSV, the way they two were linked up in they two games was brilliant. Like, the understanding that they were building, I think, helped Kent be in that position out in the wing, because the two of them were able to move and create. And I really hope that this brought Tom Lawrence back in, because I hope it will bring on Ryan Kent's game. I think what's happened is, with Tom Lawrence coming out of the team, there's nobody been beside Ryan Kent to help Ryan Kent, and the performances have just not been there. So again, players coming back makes the team stronger, makes our top players hopefully turn up for form, performances wise. But it is a strange one. Ryan for a long time now has been lacking in the goal area, and there was a time that I thought Ryan Kent would be away for Rangers well before now, just because of the way his performances were.
All right, I'm going to ask Billy a question just quickly, Billy.
Yeah.
Before we go for a tune, we're going to go for a tune in a second. Just on present form, would you have present form, no past form, Tav, Ryan Jack, and Ryan Kent in your team?
Yes.
Oh, that's a big call, Jaffa, isn't it?
Certainly is.
I would.
Okay. All right, mate. Well, no, it's all about opinions. I'm not talking about past form.
They've got to come good. They've got to. And they need games.
Right,
but I would take Tom Lawrence. That'd be guys at dynamite.
Cheers for that, mate. We're going to go to the tune, so if you don't mind getting yourself on mute, we're going to have a tune. Take it away.
Right. Thank you very much, Donald.
Cheers, mate.
Right, iron out.
Now there's a pub in Green Street where all good proddies you will meet. So come down here and together we'll have a jar. A welcome there you will receive, so good that you won't want to leave. A fine wee pub is Saltcoats Mermaid Bar. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. We all support the Queen and Crown. The prices here are the best in town. The bar staff, they are one terrific crew. Everyone laughing, full of cheer. It's one tremendous atmosphere. Singing to support the red, white and blue. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. It's nice to come to the Mermaid Bar when Rangers are playing at Tybrook Park. You'll forget your worries and all your cares, singing songs against the Thames before you watch the Rangers win. For everyone here supports the Teddy Bears. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. If you are up from Belfast town, Tyrone, Fermanagh or County Down, Armagh, Antrim or London, Derry shores, the Mermaid is the place for you, so come and have a drink or two. Next time in Saltcoats you'll want to come back for more. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
That was a big call of Billy's there. I wasn't trying to have a go at the three players, but I think if you were selecting a team for scrap, it's no one present for him. I don't think any three of them be in it, Jaffa, would they?
No, not in present form.
But funny enough, if I was picking the team, the three of them would be in it.
Yeah, because you know what they're capable of if they're in form.
That's the sad thing, Ox. There's nobody there to challenge them. There's nobody there wanting to take the shirt off them, and they're getting away with poor form in a sense because there's nobody better to pick for, and that's the sad indictment of the squad that we thought we had strength and depth in.
Aye, well, I don't think we've had anybody challenging Ryan. Fashion could maybe play a different style of player altogether. Ryan Jack, I just think it's been injuries. He's been unlucky. Jaffa, the way Ryan plays, if he keeps playing football, he will get injured again because he just gives it everything, doesn't he?
He likes the tackle, Ox. That's a lot about Ryan Jack's. Just the way he plays. He's got dig, and those type of players, especially in the modern game, because of his pace it's played at, they're always liable to be picking up injuries, and it's hard on their knees, Ox. There's no two ways about it, because of the jamming that they're doing all the time, because they're digging essentially and they're going in for the tackle. John Lundstrom's a bit like that. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to pick a lot of injuries up, but Ryan's getting to that age in his football career. He's been doing it now since he was 15 or 16. So, 15 years of that kind of level of playing, the way, that intensity, it does take its toll on his body. That's why you see a lot of players, they tend to, they read the game better as they get older, because it gets them out of bother, and it makes a positional strength. Stephen Davis is a classic of that. Although Stephen Davis is not big on the tackle, but his positional strength is phenomenal.
He's a stealer, isn't he? He steals the ball after you, yeah?
Yeah, he toe pokes it away for you. Because he knows what you're going to do with it before you decide it yourself what you're going to do with it.
Every time I'm thinking about somebody with problems with their knees, I think about you breakdancing. I'm still scared of that and all. I can't get that one out of my mind either. Some of your moves are out of this world. GB.
Well, it's getting down, Ox. It's getting back up's the problem.
I remember that. We had to get Bubble Youngs in to get you up, but that's another story. Right. GB. Ryan Jack, great player. Brian Kent, been a great player for us. Tav, been a fantastic player for us. No playing well at the moment. I think the three of them will start on Saturday. There you go.
No, 100% Ox, they will. I mean, it's we're needing the bit of dig in the midfield, which Ryan Jack fits into. He's had a bit of game time for Scotland, so that proves he is fit and ready for the game. Ryan Kent, again, nobody there to challenge him now, so he's got to start. He's the only guy that can probably charge in that wing and open up a defence when on form. And to be fair, as Jaffa says, his work rate is good at getting back at times as well to stop the attacks. And then James Tavernier, he's our captain, a guy that will give his all every game. Even as we've seen through injuries and stuff like that, he's probably been dealing with that, whether it's been painkillers or injections or whatever. He still wanted to start. Whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing, time will tell. But we just we've not got the availability to drop these guys in now, because we've just not got the squad depth to come in and replace them, Mox. And it's a big important game. We need our top players in this game to get us the 3 points.
You're right. It's a big 3 points for the club, as we said. I think it could be the springboard to potentially 27 points, bizarrely, Jaffa. I know that's a bold statement. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Well, it's next to going to the Edmonton Ox, it's probably it's the hardest away tie in the league and on the fixture list. So it is a massive 3 points, and I mean, you heard Tav even saying that it's a great fixture on the calendar to have. So they've got to be up for it. The 3 points are important, Ox.
Here. Aye, we move on. Big game coming up. Yeah.
Ox, what about the flip side of it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the worry is as well. We're being optimistic. We want the win first and foremost, and that's what I'll take. I'll always take a Bridgeman if that comes to it. But the flip side of it is we come back after an international break. We get the wee bit of luck where it's back to 2 points. Teams had a bit of a break to get the formation, tactics, whatever sorted out. Gio's had his time to reflect. And if we go into this game and it's anything like we've seen in the first 8 games, then it's going to be uproar again, Ox. And this is how it's a very important game, I think, to kickstart the season a bit.
I think if we get a result on Saturday, performance will go out the window in some respects, Jaffa, because it's one of the games, accepting Gary's point that we do want to play well, but I think it's one of the games it's all about a result, Jaffa.
100%, Ox. I mean, you always take result over performance first and foremost, but if the performance comes, even better. But it's about getting the 3 points. I mean, especially in any league campaign, the away fixtures it's about getting the 3 points. But we've got to hit form at some point. We can't
just
keep
as well.
along with this.
Jaffa takes results over performance, isn't it?
Absolutely, and she does. That was good timing.
Evil man.
GB.
How can I talk after that, man? Performance, right? Where are we? Performance. Aye, always need to perform or else you get chucked out. Again, Hearts. They're not going to be. By the way, they're not going to be turning up wanting to give Rangers an easy game, especially after the last game that we had. We kind of demolished them a bit. They're chasing that kind of third position again this year. They're wanting to kind of cement themselves again in the kind of top table of Scottish football. So they'll be raising their performance. And by the way, they've had a break and all. They've had time to probably get some players back for injury, red cards, etc., etc. So if we, again, the squad that we've got, Ox, on form should wipe the floor with Hearts on Saturday. No question about it. And I think, like you're saying, it could be a big springboard into our season. If we get this win, no matter whether it's a 1-0 or 3-0, like you say, we've looked at the fixtures, we've given our wee predictions and stuff like that. There's no other kind of fixtures in the next 7 games there that you could probably turn around and say that we need to really worry about.
You back with us, Jaffa?
Yes. Back with you.
Is GB right then?
Yeah, he is right. Aye, we need to get the result first and foremost. That's the priority. The performances are secondary, but the results way more important. And we've had a couple of weeks off. The guys they've had a couple of weeks off, but our injury list has been far worse than any other teams in the league at current state of. So getting a few more players back. Tom Lawrence would be a great addition. Roof, I don't know if he's going to be match fit. Certainly probably won't be, but certainly getting a few players back would be important.
Okay, we're hoping that Ben Davis will be in competition. We're hoping that Tom Lawrence is going to be fit. We're hoping that Alfie will be fit for the break. We're hoping that Tavin Lundstrom will be fresher and fitter for the break. There's 5 players who potentially could be in a better place, hopefully. Jaffa.
Yeah, 100%, Ox. I mean, when you're writing that list off there, it just gives you an example of where we've been. And what those 5 or 6 players, how having them fit would change the absolute look of the team. So it's important. I mean, if those guys are all back fit and contention for a starting shot, and what a boost that gives to the squad and to the manager as well. You can't underestimate just what the importance of that has to the dressing room.
The Roof one will be interesting, won't it, Jaffa?
He'll not be fit. He'll not be fit to after a World Cup, mate.
Well, that's it. Jaffa was saying that the remembrance is he's putting up on his Instagram and stuff like that. He's fit and ready. You mean so? His stats, Ox, for me are great. It's just keeping that boy body fit. See if we could have an honestly fit Roof, I think he would be in the team week in, week out, because he's just got that kind of striker know-how to put the ball in the back of the net.
Where do you play him?
Oh, I mean, he doesn't get in front of Joe Ack now. Definitely no, Ox. I get that. I mean, I'm just saying, the season's gone by, especially 55 for me. He was near the end of the season. He was on fire. I mean, it was just the Old Firm games. That it was the player that I felt that we'd been missing. I mean, that the guy that could go in and tear Celtic apart. I mean, it was just. I think if we can just keep that guy fit, he'll be a good utility player for this season, definitely.
Jaffa?
I mean, you can't again, Knox. Having that quality in your pool and having him fit is just. It really does. It elevates the whole pool. Having guys like that in and about your team is you can't underestimate it, Ox. You really can't.
I don't know where he gets in the team if everybody's fit. I think he becomes a big asset to our squad. I don't know if he gets in front of Cholak and Morelos, mate. GB?
No, Ox, he doesn't. Definitely, he's now going to be a player for Rangers. I think it's like in the squad on the bench, coming off the bench, which he's murmured.
The minute GB will confirm it. Rangers ladies are 1-0 up, 3 minutes to go. The tie's now all square. There are a few minutes left, yeah.
Brilliant.
GB.
I saw it on with. He will be a player that will probably be coming off the bench if he does get a chance, because we've seen what Gio does with players off the bench. But Roof's made that clear that he doesn't like that. So again, he's another one. It's the contract's running out. It'll depend. Like I say, he's got the chance there. If he gets on the park and he does something, then he might be able to cement a place. But the way Cholak's form is now, the way Gio sets up the team now, I think his minutes are going to be very scarce. I mean, that's a sad thing. But certainly, Ox over the seasons for me, I just wish Roof would have kept himself fit, because I think he would have been a mainstay up front for us.
I don't think Kemar Roof's got the right to demand anything in us, Jaffa. I don't know what you think.
He's not been fit enough to do that, Ox. He's not contributed enough within the pool of players, and that's just a personal thing. I mean, I'm not being personal with him. I'm just, personally, he's not been fit enough to be able to command. I mean, I'm not sure how many games Kemar Roof in one stretch has played for us. It can't be any more than 6 or being available, I would say. He certainly never put an 18 or 17 game run together, Ox. I mean, I know his goal scoring, his goals per game is phenomenal, but that's because he's not been on the park that often. You're right. I would echo that 100%. He's not in a position to demand anything from us. He can certainly get himself fit and contribute.
16-year-old Emma Watson who scored the goal. 16-year-old Jaffa.
Get in there, the teddy bears or the bearettes. Get in, girls.
I'm sure Sonia will be cheering them on from afar tonight.
Sonia.
Yeah, she'll be definitely contributing to the cheerleading. It's the result tonight, hopefully.
So, GB, what's your team for the weekend? What do you see it being?
Well, I think goalkeeping position will be very, very interesting, mate.
Keep away for that. That's for tomorrow night.
Oh, okay, right, neighbour. I'll
we do shows all week. Used to.
I'll text it in tomorrow night for you then, Ox.
Yes. Feel free to phone in. Just getting back to Kemar Roof. Yeah, this is his 3rd season with us. Yeah. His first season, well, he made his debut in August. Yeah, 2020. So he's into his 3rd season with us now. And we played a lot of footballs, Jaffa. And his total games started is 42, mate. And he's come on 30 times as subs. He's got 34 goals. Yeah.
It's not good enough, folks.
So he's
not. It's just not good enough, is it?
You throw in the games this season. Well, we had a dozen games this season so far, 6 in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the league games, we're in a dozen now, and we've had all the league games 38, plus the European runs, Jaffa. We've played a lot of games, 42 games. He's played
not contributing.
a total of 27 league games, mate. He started. You know. And his goal scoring record is fine. But as you said, no often enough, mate.
Yeah. Just his fitness levels, Ox. He just, his health. I don't know. I don't know Kemar Roof. I don't know. None of us know what maybe unfair to talk about the guy's health on an open platform, but I don't know if there's underlying issues with his calves, or always seems to be his lower areas of his legs that he's got problems with. I know he has been. You would classify him, if you look throughout his career, Ox, even before we got him, he was quite well injury prone at Anderlecht. He wasn't. He was a great player for Leeds, but he was never, a mainstay. You weren't getting 30 games a year out of him or anything like that.
GB?
I agree, Ox. It's always at the point that shoots me down. With Roof, I'm a big fan of him. I think his plays. I would love a fit player like Roof in our team. I think he does give us something different. He gives us that kind of zip, and he seems to trouble defenders and stuff like that. Just the kind of striker or the playmaker you want up there. It's just
you put him in front of Alfie and Cholak.
See when he, well, not so much Cholak, because Cholak surprised me this season, but it's a fit Roof, Ox, scoring the way he starts her. I would have him in front of Alfie all day long. I just think he's a far better player.
Wow. Wow. I've just fell off my seat, Jaffa. You can take this one.
I'm have to disagree with you there, Gary. I would have.
I think I've just had a text with Fox. GB, you have to report to each other morning. You've obviously been into drugs again.
But if you're comparing him with Buff, Ox, right, and I'm just purely going on in fantasy land of fitness and scoring ability, I just think Alfie's rough and tumble, and he gets stuck in.
Alfie is nowhere near the finisher that Roof is. Roof can score goals, hit goals. He'll make goals. Like if you remember the one he chested in against them at Ibrox, fantastic finisher. As a player, he couldn't lace Alfredo Morelos' boots. Jaffa?
I think his overall contribution is, what he brings to the team, his link-up play. I mean, I agree, Gary, to an extent. Roof he's clinical. He sees stuff that other players don't. He's very, very fast on his eyes in the box. But I would say as an all-round striker in the modern era, I don't think he's anywhere close to Alfie. And I'll go even further. Our best finisher at the club right now is Antonio Cholak. What a finisher that boy is! What a player he's turned into for us.
Have thoughts on that? Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Get your tin hat on, GB.
No, bring it on.
You're good for a show, mate. You're good for a show. Listen, it's all about opinions. I do accept he's a better natural finisher than Alfredo Jaffa, if it makes sense.
Thumbs up for his work.
Kemar Roof, listen, he's a decent footballer. I think it's just it's difficult to judge Kemar Roof because, as I say, yes, we can't say, look, he can play 25 games and look what he done. Gary, see if Kemar Roof played 25 games for Rangers at the level we know he can play at. He would probably score about 20 goals. But you can't do that. I mean, that is fantasy land, isn't it?
All right, we've been joined by Robert. How are we doing, Robert?
I'm good, Oxter, GB, and I'm ready to say Southsider. I just spoke to him on the phone. Jaffa, how you doing, guys?
Hi, Robert.
Not bad, Robert.
Good, Robert. Good. How's your good self?
I'm good, mate. I'm keeping well, but I just want to say, did I hear that, GB? Did you say that Kemar Roof's a better striker than Kolak and Morelos?
I'm going to mute.
No.
I'll leave you to it.
You've been up the Inverness for too long, GB. Come on, get a grip.
No Cholak, buddy, no Cholak. But what I was saying there, in fantasy land, if it's a fit Roof and it's a fit Alfie, it's Roof for me, mate, all day long.
Aye, but come on, take Alfie's unfortunate injury away there. Before that, he was never injured, to be honest. That Roof's always injured. He plays 2 games and he's out for 10. He's a waste of shirt, that's the truth. Aye, when he's fit, he's a good player. But we've got to be honest, see guys that are taking 20 odd grand plus a week, I'm sorry, I'm not sticking by them anymore. That's your problem. Him, Hollander, the lot of them, they're all taking money under false pretences, in my opinion. And I know you can turn around and say, oh, but injuries can happen at any time. He was injured before we go. Why do you think we go home? Because it was at least get rid of him because he was injured. I'm sorry, no more. I want guys that are going to go out there and play. And I know we're all slagging Tavernier, and he has been injured, but at least he's willing with a 70% fitness. He's willing to go out and play on the park. That Roof's like that. Oh, I don't feel up for it today. I'm going to stay for another 12 weeks on the treatment table. I'm sorry, that's not what your club needs. And it's time at the summer, we need to clear all this rubbish out and get in guys that are going to give you 40, 50, 60 games a season. Only my opinion.
Right, okay.
Can we chuck Buffalo into that, Robert? Can we chuck Buffalo into that market that we need a guy to turn up week in, week out and want to play for Rangers?
No, but listen, Buffalo, right, see when Van Bronckhorst came in, and I blame a lot on Van Bronckhorst, so I'll tell you why, right? Because we're all watching and we seen his tactics are garbage, right? Players on the plane for him. And see, I'll give you one example. See Ryan Kent? He should be saying to Ryan Kent in Saturday against Hearts, I'm going to change the tactics. See, you've not been doing it because I've kept you out that wing and told you to stay out that wing. I'm giving you a free roll on Saturday. You play whatever you want because we paid £7 million for you and I want to see that £7 million play because we all know you can get. Give him a free roll. That's what he should be doing on Saturday. Now, as for Buffalo, if you remember, Gary, when Van Bronckhorst came in, and Buffalo Seed was doing under Gerrard and he was a bit overweight and stuff like whatever. Buffalo was absolutely superb when Giovanni Van Bronckhorst came in. He wasn't scoring loads and loads of goals, but he was holding the play up and he was playing really, really well until we get that injury. How did he get the injury? Because Van Bronckhorst ran him into the ground. So I'm no. See, Buffalo, he does like himself doing a lot of time. He's carrying on at Easter Road and stuff like that, the petty lip and all that. But I'll tell you right now, when he's fit and every Rangers player's fit, him and Ryan Kent are our 2 best players. There's no doubt about it. When everybody's fit and firing all cylinders, Ryan Kent and Alfredo Morelos are 2 best players.
There's only one way to solve this puzzle, Jaffa. Yes?
How's that?
We'll have a poll on Facebook. Yes, old school player monitor. Are you happy with that, GB? Will you accept the result as a man?
Oh, of course, mate. But I want everybody to think attitude and performance and goal scoring ability, all that. I don't want it.
You're not winning me over.
I don't know. I think Buffalo sometimes is all about hitting himself.
Who's the best player? Who's the best all-round player? Who's the best finisher? I'll let you pick.
Best all-round player then, to be fair.
Who's the best all-round player? B or Alfie the Buffalo? Or K for Kemar Roof? B or K? Simple as that. Vote. All school player monitor and we'll get the result in a couple of minutes. Yes? The first vote's in for Southside. Our senior correspondent, B. It's a B for me. Jaffa?
B.
Robert?
100% B.
GB?
150% K.
Huh?
K all day long.
I thought you were doing your Manuel advert there. Manuel impression. Okay, it'll be interesting to see it. Look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You just happen to be wrong. Robert?
100%. Look at a couple of seasons. I know people say don't look back in the past, but you've got to look at the full picture. Look at V. Morelos when he was Europa League's top goal scorer, scoring against Feyenoord, and all these top teams, 2 against Dortmund, etc. You can't take it away from him. We know at times, of course, he's let us down, right? And his attitude. Now, Gary's talking about attitude. Gary, and I'm not comparing him with players like, look at some of the players like Falcao and even your Cantona's who are all world-class players. Morelos, isn't he? Right there now. But you have players like that who've got that bit in them, and you'll never change them. You've just got to sometimes accept it, and you'll never change them. And that's the way, unfortunately, Morelos is. He's got that wee bit inside him.
Somebody's voted BGK. Do you maybe think they know something?
Who knew?
Sorry, Robert, I had to interrupt with that one.
No, but also, you know what I mean. Alfie frustrates a life. And listen, you remember I was on this show and I called them names that weren't good after we beat Hibs at Easter Road and they stamped on the guy. And I came on here and I said things that I've regretted, and I really gave him at tight, said he should never play for us again. But I can't help but love him. And Oxtail, come on. Van Bronckhorst has got to get his finger out. Do you know agree? Can I ask you a question, Oxtail?
Yes.
We're all sitting there at Ibrox or watching on the telly, whatever us Rangers supporters that day, right? We're all watching the same game. What is it with him? How will he know turn around? Is it stubbornness? Is it just, this is my way or no way? How can he not turn around and say this isn't working and Saturday get out there and play your best? But you've always got to play your best players. And you've got to play Morelos and Kolak on Saturday, because you can't leave big Kolak out. The guy's been really good for us. So how is he seeing this different to 50,000 Rangers fans out here? Because every time I listen to all the forums, everybody is saying the same. It needs to change it. And in my opinion, go out there on Saturday and play a 3-5-2 and let's go for it. Batter that lot. Because the young boys done it at the end of last season, battered them 3-1.
On the poll, and obviously it's just an opinion poll, GB, but I think Kemar Roof's as popular as the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Am I in the 1% bracket then?
No, actually, Colin Steen get 1%, Kemar Roof get 4%, and Buffalo get 95%. Yeah, Jaffa.
I think you're sailing up the tide there, GB, with that one. But listen, it's about opinions, mate. You've put your neck in the chopping block, so to speak. But I think Buffalo's.
Listen, Fox has come back to me, GB. If you need any help with this drug issue you've got, we're right behind you. All right.
Cheers for that.
Robert.
Yes.
The floor's yours.
Now, listen. I'm just a dead frustrated Rangers supporter, right? Because, as I said the other night, I mean, I watched my team in that Europa League final, fantastic. Finished the season in the Scottish Cup final and played 120 minutes in 3 or 4 occasions after Braga, etc., after Celtic, the semi-final, and looked really fit at the end of the season. And then, as I said, I think the Harpers were up to us, and I know money speaks, and you couldn't stop big Rebo going because there was £10 million in the contract. Bassey was a different thing, but I know it was money you couldn't knock back. But I wish they had knocked it back and told them, because I don't think Bassey's the type of player that he would have been doing and he'd have down tools. That's just my opinion, right? But I know the money was phenomenal and it was hard to knock it back. He wanted to go, whatever. But I just thought, looking forward to this season, I thought, we're going to get this. We're really going to be up for it. And it has been disappointing. It's been really disappointing. And we don't want to come on here. We don't want to criticise our team because we love them so much. But for the first whistle at Livingston, I was at that game. We struggled. And that Dundee United performance just summed it up. We're hanging on at the end against Dundee United, who, and I know they turned it up against us because we lost 5 points against them up at Tannadice last season. We know what we expect with them, but come on. And it's all right saying if we take more chances, we'd been 4 or 5 up at half time. But the fact is, we didn't take more chances, and this is what annoys me, Oxford. We need to be more clinical. These players need to wake up. They need to wake up because they're good players. We've got a lot of good players in that squad. And I'm watching that game against PSV Eindhoven just now, and I'm thinking to myself, these players are cheating us. They're cheating us. They can go to Eindhoven and beat a team that's better than any other team we've faced in Scotland, including that lot.
They're top of the Dutch league at the moment.
Yes. They're better than any team we've played this season. And I don't mean the Champions League, Ajax or Napoli. They are better than anything that we've played in Scotland, including that lot. And yet, we've gone out and we're struggling for performances. Oxford, I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. There's something seriously wrong because they are good. We have good players in amongst them. Okay, really good. Glenn Kamara, for instance, you said it yourself. PSV, he was the best player by a mile in the first half against PSV away from home. What's happening, Glenn Kamara? One performance out of about 20. That's not good. And he is a good player. He's a very good player. Only he's one of the best players in Scottish football. What's going on?
I'll cut across you, mate. I think we'll be joined by a new caller. Evening, caller.
All right, mate.
How you doing? Not
Mark? Too bad. Right? I'm Mark. I'm just listening in on your thing about Morelos and Cholak playing together.
Yes, mate. Yes.
You know, I've been thinking for ages, because of Morelos' hold-up play, would it not be good to play him behind Cholak? So when we've got the ball out wide, we've got two strikers. Who do you mark when you've got them two in the box?
Jaffa, sounds reasonable idea to me.
I would certainly have a try at it, to be honest with you, Mark. I've been shouting that myself. I think a lot of us on here have been saying that the same thing, mate. There must be games where we can at least, have a Buff's now back to full fitness. At least give us, like at the end of a game, the last 30 minutes, let's try it. What have you got to lose from trying it?
If we're going to mark Morelos and Cholak, it leaves the door open for a Scotty Arfield or somebody else to get into the box. It might cause a hell of a lot of problems, I think.
I think that the problem is, Mark, that he's always rigid with this 4-3-3 with the wide players, and I don't think you can play Morelos as I think Cholak's a centre forward and a number 9 and a finisher. I don't think you could play Morelos wide right. You could play him inside right near Cholak.
See, I would actually like to see him. If we play the 4-2-3-1, I'd like to see Morelos in the middle.
All right behind him. But where would you fit Tom Lawrence into that team?
That's the main problem with the other players that we've got. But I actually think Kent could be on his way out. I don't think he's going to be at Rangers much longer.
Okay, I don't think you're alone. I'll go to Robert with that and then we'll go to GB.
Yeah, no worries.
On you go, Robert.
As I said there, Olivia, you've got to play your best players. Ox, a 3-5-2 against Hearts, come on, right? And I would play in midfield probably, Big Lindstrom 100%, and then it's a choice between Ryan Jack or Lawrence. Now, because it's Hearts away and it's Tynecastle, it's a tight run, it's a hard game, I would play Ryan Jack. But the games at Ibrox, we don't need two sitting holding midfielders, so then that's when you bring Lawrence into it. But for this game on Saturday, I'm playing Lundstrom, Ryan Jack and Kent, and I'm playing Tavernier and Barisic as two wing backs because I'm playing a 3-5-2 and I'm playing Morelos and I'm playing Cholak and I'm going for it and I'm bringing Ben Davis in, him, Sands and Golson. There's my team. And we've got to just get out there and go for it. What were the young boys done? And I know it was a week before the Scottish Cup final, the end of the season, but Hearts is a very strong team there, and you're not telling me they weren't trying. Of course they were, and the young boys battered them, and that's what we need to do on Saturday. None of this, I'll bring him on after an hour if it's not gone right. Start with your best team, start with your best players, and you know what? Morelos please, he's got to be in that team at the weekend, and so is Ben Davis. Got to be in it.
Well, I agree with that. I think Ben Davis is definitely... I mean, he's been training for a good month now. Over a month, I think. About 5 or 6 weeks. He's been back on the training ground. And he's got to play. But really and truly, I would try Sands next to Lundstrom. he's dodgy passing out from the back, but if he's further up the pitch, it's less risk. And he's tackling as well. He's stopping play as well, which he's very good at. It's
You
just
would
his
play
passing
Tav?
is suspect.
You would play Tav in midfield?
No, Sands. Sands next to Lundstrom.
Oh, Sands. Oh, I don't think you're alone. There's a few guys think that Sands has got a bit of potential to move up one and play in the 10 with his pace and the way he covers the ground and his tackling skills. We don't know how good he is on the ball, GB, yet, because we've not really seen him in that shine in that position, but he's shown he's good in the tackle, he's athletic, and he's definitely no scared. GB.
No, he's not. He's certainly showing his qualities this season so far. Been very surprised with him, especially the way his career started at that Aberdeen game. I didn't think Sands would have lasted to the end of the season, ways, to be honest, but his performances have been filling in at that centre back position has been fantastic, and it would be good to see him maybe in the kind of sweeper role, just the pushing up one and tidying up. But I think with Ryan Jack starting for Scotland, I think Ryan Jack's going to get the shirt in front of Sands, and it'll be Sands in defence probably.
Yeah.
Well, if Sands is in defence, we've got an issue. Jaffa?
I hope that's not the case, Ox. I really want to see Ben Davies in there. Starting to bring what we know Ben Davies has got in his game to the Rangers team. However, if it is James Sands, it's at the centre back position with Golson. There are going to be major questions going to be asked, and Gio's going to have to start coming clean on this. What is actually going on? But we'll wait and see on Saturday what the team is, Ox. But I certainly think what the rest of the guys here, I think there'll be two holding midfielders at the game against Hearts on Saturday. If Sands is at the back, it'll be Lundstrom and Ryan Jack, I suspect.
I've just had a message, GB, 4%. That's nearly as bad as Southside Super 6 picking. Carry on, mate. Listen, the boy Sands has done all right, but he has been part of the defence. It's not been great, even though he's done personally okay. Robert?
No, listen, MD knows me. I'm going to admit this. I'm a bit of James Sands man. I think he has done actually okay. And look at that PSV game again. So he was absolutely fantastic. I've seen other games he's been good. I let every player he gets caught out. But as Big Southside has always been shouting on here for a few weeks now, I would love to see him playing in midfield. And that's a good call Mark said tonight. You could maybe, you're going to go with my formation 3-5-2, then you bring your young boy King in, don't you? And then you put Sands, then you're going to have to sacrifice Ryan Jack because Lundstrom's got to play. So I've been a James Sands fan, and I would love to see him share in midfield, just because you say yourself, he's got pace, he's got a pass and that. So, and I think he is a good player. I do rate him.
We've been joined by Bob J. Evening, Bob J.
Evening, boys. How you doing?
Good, mate. How's your
evening, Bob J?
I'm doing all right, boys. I've been listening to the show intently here, and brilliant as usual with all your assessments. And my take on it is just as simple as us starting with Saturday. We've had this enforced international break. Starting to Saturday, everybody's got to show a level of consistency that we've not showed all season. This is a new beginning for us on Saturday. We've got a chance here to go top, albeit for a couple of hours. It doesn't matter. Have a chance. And everybody from now on, and I heard you quoting all the games earlier on, and they are winnable. They are winnable. So, a level of consistency is required, and that's what we need, and we're going to go for it starting for Saturday.
Well, he's a wise man, Bob J. Jaffa.
Box, Bob J. If Rangers need to turn up on Saturday, we can't keep getting into these performances. Because I'll tell you what, Bob J. See, if we do turn up with one of these performances, like we played against Dundee United, we've got problems.
Exactly.
And they've been given a bit of a reprieve with that result at Love Street. I'm showing my age there at New St Mirren Park, or the New Energy Stadium, whatever it's called, with the lights on. So we're only 2 points behind. The team can certainly kick on if we've had if we were a wee bit of respite for the injuries and we've got a few more guys in contention. It should give the pool of players a boost. It really should, Bob Ger. I'm looking for a performance, but more importantly, Bob Ger, I'm looking for a result.
Well, the results paramount. We know that, but at the end of the day, we know what we're going into. I said it earlier in the week when I was on. We're going into a battle here on Saturday. That's Scottish football for you. And all these new guys that have came in, Lawrence, etc., all the new boys that came in, Tillman, they'll need to realise they need to get their sleeves rolled up, get into it and realise that they're playing for Glasgow Rangers. And that they're going to be a boxing match on Saturday, yellow cards free and everywhere. We've seen it all before. We'll see it every year at Tynecastle, Easter Road, Aberdeen, etc. This is another year on Saturday. We'll just go to get the sleeves rolled up and start a level of consistency we've not had all season. So that's about it in a nutshell, guys. I hear your analysis, and your analysis is all spot on about Kolach and Morelos playing together. I don't care what formation he puts out. Well, I do, but I mean, I just hope that it can click and it can get us a good result, give us a confidence booster, and let us kick on for this.
And you come, Mark. Give your tuppence worth.
Well, Ryan Kent, I think personally, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best players at the club. But I think he's become too complacent. I think he thinks he's not droppable. And that's his problem. He needs to be dropped. If they're going to drop Kent and they want to bring Yilmaz in, why not push Barisic up and play Yilmaz as left wing back? The same way as what Scotland pretty much usually do with Robertson and Tierney. 2 left footers on the left.
I don't know. I'm maybe a bit old-fashioned. I don't think we should have any left footers in the team. Robert?
Can I just ask Bob Ger? And it's always nice seeing your dulcet tone, Bob Ger. Love listening to you, Bob Ger. But can I ask you, Bob Ger, you're saying about rolling the sleeves up and that should be a given. That should be a given. Every time you pull that blue shirt on with that big badge in your hat, that should be a given, right? So can I ask you, Bob Ger, do you think we've got the people in the background that can gear these players up to go out and give us 110%? Because I just feel that there's something missing. So do you think, Bob Ger, we've got the people in there in the background? And unfortunately, we lost with Jimmy Bell, who was one, but would have got somebody with the throat up against him once they come on. But I fear, Bob Ger, we've lost that in our team. I feel we've lost that.
Well, we've tried to analyse it all season about what we've lost. We've tried to get to the bottom of it. I knew we've had an enforced break. Surely during the break, we've had team meetings, we've had talks about it. And among the group of players, and they're bound to say to us, come on, lads, this isn't good enough. We need to turn. They've got any aspirations if we were in this league, they've got to turn up. Got to turn up, as I say, show a level of consistency that I've not showed this season. I mean, it was done in Eindhoven. It was done in Eindhoven. It was done in the second game against Union. And then it sort of seemed to go so inconsistency, so flat. We've got to get out of this. Surely. And I don't know the background. You've got a manager there and his staff, and that's their job. Whether the players didn't want to communicate, communicate with him, whether they didn't want to believe in his system or anything like that, I don't know. That'll all come out in the fullness of time. But surely, you're playing for Glasgow Rangers, for God's sake.
Don't call me Shirley, Bob Ger. Sorry, an old joke. Sorry.
What was that?
Don't call me Shirley. Mark, going back to your point, I think if I was playing what I've seen of young Yilmaz in Borna, I would actually have Yilmaz in front of Borna if I was setting up like that personally. Jaffa?
Yilmaz has got. I think he's got great potential. Because I think there's a player in that young lad from what I've seen. There should be for the money we've paid for him. I agree with you. I think long term, he's even short to medium term. I'd like to see him getting introduced into the team. I think he's got that real ability to get to the byline, and he sees a pass, and he's got good. He's really good tempo in his game, and I think we're missing that. Don't get me wrong. What I will say at this moment in time as well, Borna, from the start of the season, Borna has actually, his contribution has been really good. And his levels, I think, have been really good as well. And his balls into the box. In fact, for a lot of the games that we've been sneaking, like, the odd goal here or there to get the victory, a lot of it's been down to the balls that Borner's been putting into the box. But I still think Yilmaz would be a better option longer term, Ox. That's my opinion on that as well.
We'll see where it takes us with that. We'll watch it keenly. GB?
I think the Bonner can't hold his shirt now because he's been playing so well. And for Ryan Kent, it's probably a good game for him to get involved in because it is going to be an open game of football. It's no Hearts are not a team that put 10 men behind the ball. They actually want to come out and play a game of football. And Ryan Kent seems to thrive when a team wants to play football, i.e. Europe. We've seen the performances he can put in the European stage. So I think on Saturday, if Ryan Kent gets the nod, as much as he's not been on form and probably doesn't deserve his place, but I think it's a perfect game for him to get a bit of confidence and possibly get us the kind of either the assist or the goal that we're looking for, because he will have chances, especially with that team coming forward is.
Mm-hmm. Robert, what's your early impressions of young Ridvan? We've not seen that much, mate, but just your early impressions.
I'll be honest with you, for Scottish football, I don't like the physique. I've got to be honest. I want a big bustling 6'1", 6'2" player in there, right? But I watched loads of clips of him before he came out, and he could put a ball into the box and that when he plays for that Turkish team. Seen a couple of nice wee touches, a wee back flat against Queen of the South. I know you can't look too much into that, but I think the boy's got to be getting a chance. I've spent a lot of money on him. And I think he's got to. I think he's got to be getting a chance out here.
Right. Okay. Right. We've got a couple of minutes to go. There's 9 games left. We're going to ask you to predict them. The Mark and Robert and Bobbits. We just want your scores. GB's quickly going to get a hold of them and just see how we'll tape a note of it and see how it's going to turn out. So the first game's away on Saturday, away at Tynecastle. How do you see it going, Robert?
2-1 Rangers.
Bob, Gia?
I'm the same, 2-1 Gers.
All right. Mark, what's your thoughts?
I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be 4-2 Gers.
Oh, 4-2. I like the sound of that.
Just because of our defensive in corners and stuff like
that. Bridgeman's phoned in. He's went for 9-1 nothings. GB, put it in. Right, okay.
Predictable.
Get old, Bridge.
But then we're home to St Mirren. Robert?
3-0 Rangers.
Bob, Gia?
I'm the same. They'll just shoehorn no selling. 3-0 Gers.
Mark?
I'll go for 5-0 Gers and we'll put it right up into
Mark, you can come back on again. All right, Mark, we're then away to Murrable. How do you see that going?
Oh. That could be a hard one. I'm not 100% sure about that one, because Motherwell, really and truly,
come on, hurry up. I've got my work in the morning. Hurry up.
A bit hit and miss, but I'll go for a very tight 2-1.
2-1. Robert?
Sorry, Oxford, you're not going to like it. 1-1.
Oh dear. Bob, Gia?
A typical SPL battle, 2-1 Gers.
Home to Livingston, Robert. Disappointing you, Robert.
As low as it could be comfortable, but I think it'll be probably 2-0 to Rangers.
Mark?
I think I'll go 2-1 as well. Rangers.
Bob, Gia?
Again, pretty straightforward, 2-0 Rangers.
Home to Aberdeen, Robert. Obviously, you'll go for an away win, yeah?
Listen, I'm a bear, no chance. I'm going, and we've not been keeping clean sheets. I'm going 3-2 Rangers against Aberdeen Ibrox.
Bob, Gia?
I think it'll be 3-1 Rangers.
Mark?
3-0 Rangers.
Mark, then we're away to St Johnstone.
Away to St Johnstone. I think that's just going to be a 1-0.
1-0 at Bridgeman. Bob, Gia?
Big White Park at Perth, 2-0 Gers.
Yep. Robert?
Big White Park will lose a goal because we've not been great in defence. 2-1 Rangers.
And then we're home to Hearts, Robert.
Oh, that will be really tight, but I'll go 2-1 Rangers.
Bob, Chair?
Same with me. I'll go 2-1 Rangers.
Mark?
3-1 Rangers.
And Mark, the last game before the World Cup, they're away to St Mirren, the greatest team the world's ever seen at the moment.
Away to St Mirren. 3-0.
Yeah. Bob, Chair?
1-0 Jars.
Robert?
They put loads of high balls into the box and they troubled defenders and they troubled the greatest goalkeeper we've ever seen in Scottish football. But I'll go 1-0 Rangers.
Okay, you get that, GB?
All sorted, mate. Got it.
Good man, good man. Listen, Robert, thanks for the call. Mark, great call.
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks very much. Bob, Chair, always a pleasure.
Best show on earth.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. These two want their wages doubled. That's not a problem. Jaffa.
Aye, thanks for having us on, Ox. Yeah, great show. Thanks for inviting us on. Thanks, GB, for the company tonight, mate. Enjoyed it.
GB.
Aye, thanks again, Ogs, for having us on. Thanks for allowing us to create a bit of comedy tonight, and all the best for the Rangers on Saturday.
I think you stole the show, mate. I think you stole the show. Thanks to all the callers. We had, of course, Bill earlier on, and then Mark's joined us, the one and only RW, and of course, Bob here. Thanks to GB and the one and only Jaffa for joining us here on the show. Southside and Old School Blue in the background doing the technicals. Thanks a lot, lads. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.
There will always be a Rangers, though enemies may try to break us and destroy us. We will never ever die, for we will stand together, side by side as one, to assure the gallant pioneers their dream it will live on. There will always be a Rangers. Take heart and have no fear, for this football club we cherish. It always will be here, and future generations down Paisley Road will walk to take their place and be a part of the Rangers Football Club. There will always be a Rangers to fill our hearts with joy, for this love we have is solid, and there's no one can destroy. And when we meet our Maker, we know one thing for sure, that although we've gone, our football club will live forevermore. There will always be a Rangers, though enemies may try to break us and destroy us. We will never ever die, for we will stand together, side by side as one, to assure the gallant pioneers their dream it will